Hello everyone, it's Shannon here for Waffle Flower Crafts. In today's video, we're going to create an A7 card with the Be a Unicorn die, the box card die, and some new pattern papers from Waffle Flower Crafts. We're going to start our project with the Be a Unicorn die. As you can see here, you get the full unicorn as well as a couple layers for the unicorn's mane. I went ahead and die cut the unicorn and the mane layers out, and now I'm going to ink blend to add some color. I'm going to start with Worn Lipstick. This is a Distress Oxide. Just going to tap off some of the excess and start with the detail layer on the mane. I'm going to blend this just lightly because I want it to be a lighter pink than the base layer. Once I finish that, I'll grab the base layer here and just ink blend this a little bit more heavy-handedly so it's a little bit darker and has some nice contrast. I'm now going to slightly ink blend the cheeks here, hold my little ink blending tool at an angle, and just get a little bit of that pink on the cheeks so the unicorn has some nice rosy cheeks. Now I'm going to move on to Tumbled Glass and just ink blend the bottom of the wings with this blue. I went ahead and cut a couple strips of white cardstock, and I'm going to place these behind the eyes and nose, but first I'm going to ink blend them with black soot. This is just going to make sure that the eyes and the little nose holes have some nice dark contrast. Just quickly blend these and then I'll set those aside. You could also use strips of black cardstock if you prefer. Now that our ink blending is complete, I'm now going to put together our unicorn. I'm going to start with the detail layer of our mane, just add some liquid glue to the back side and then adhere it to our base layer. Once I have those two stuck together, I'll then add some glue to the back side of the mane and then simply adhere it onto our unicorn. Now I'm going to move on to our black strips. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the top and the bottom and then place them directly behind those little openings in the nose as well as the eyes. And once I have my strips in place, my unicorn is done. I'm now going to move on to creating my box. I have one of Waffle Flower's new half and half pads here. This is the Unicorn Lines pad. These measure 5.5 by 8.5 and they contain 80-pound cardstock. I went ahead and pulled out this orange sheet and I'm going to die cut it with the box card die, and I'm just going to line up the divide between the lid and the bottom of the box with the divide in the design of the paper. All the papers in the half and half pads have two different designs, and you can cut them in half to have two A2 panels or just fold the paper and you can have two different designs on the front and the back of your A2 card base. I just ran that through my die cutting machine and now I can slide in my little unicorn into the front of the box. I'm now going to move on to creating my A7 card base. I took a regular 11 by 8.5 sheet of cardstock and cut it down to 10 by 7 and then just scored it at 5 inches to create an A7 card base. I'm now going to move on to cutting our background panel. This is the JJ Rainbows paper pad. This is a beautiful paper pad and I'm going to pull out this rainbow sheet here. So even though these paper pads are 5.5 by 8.5 and are perfect for A2 cards, they also work really well for A7 cards. I'm going to die cut this piece of paper here with the largest die from the A7 layers die set to create our front panel. This is going to add some beautiful color and interest to our background. I'm now going to move on to stamping our sentiment. I have a sentiment from the Little Fairy stamp set. I'm just going to position it here in my MISTI and then I'll ink it up with black soot and stamp it onto the panel. With my sentiment stamped, I'm now ready to put together this card. I'm going to add some tape to the front of our A7 card base. Then I'll grab our panel and then just stick it right on down. After I stuck down our panel, we're ready to adhere our unicorn and box together. So I'm just going to flip over the unicorn and just add a little bit of adhesive to the back side of the bottom half of the unicorn, slide him into the box. Then I will turn over both the unicorn and the box and add some more tape to the back side of the box. And then I'll just center this and stick it right onto our card front. And with that, our card is complete. I'll hold up to the camera so you can get a good look at this large card. I love how this card turned out. The Be a Unicorn die is so cute and pairs beautifully with that gorgeous rainbow pattern paper. I love the subtle lines in the box and how we were able to use that divide in the pattern with our lid and base of the box. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card and video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.